this week has magical android girls. So no cat girls, but we are working on it. In case you were looking for more roguelikes with a tower climbing mechanic after finishing Slay the Spire 2, Kernel Hearts sends you to climb the Tower of Babel. And a small cute plus is you're actually playing as a team of androids that do magical girl transformations and fight biblically accurate and kinda inaccurate angels. Hell yeah! So we already confirmed that this is a roguelike, but it's also an action RPG. You ascend the tower, but the layers are actually open fields filled with treasures, and our personal highlight, catapults that fling you across the map. A timer on the right indicates the influence of a curse, and you should get out before it's full. The combat is fast with light, heavy, and air attacks. And as it's a roguelike, you can pick up different abilities in each run. But then there's another highlight that I had already teased. You can do a sparkly transformation when things get overwhelming. Sailor Moon would be proud of you. It not only looks cool, or slays, as they say, you know, it's also a pink panic button that makes you stronger and sturdier for a short while. There are currently 4 magical girls that each play differently. When a run fails, and it will at some point, as the wise roguelike player knows, you're sent back to a lab where your memory gets restored. The town of Babel is your progression hub where you can slot in upgrade chips and improve your loadout before heading back up. Well, now this actually reminded us of another anime. The RPG comes in at that hub as well, as you can chat and bond with other NPC allies. And the bonding is also probably what makes this an 18+ game. So don't you think about playing this with your kid, unless you're ready to do some explaining. Otherwise, co-op is a big focus with up to 4 players in one group. There's already a demo out on Steam and Epic with a full release planned for PC later this year. I tried out the demo on Steam and really liked the art direction, music and feel. This game must be the wildest entry of this week. From the outside, the Foxhole Arms looks like your average British pub. Inside, however, it holds far stranger things than fish and chips. This is your base of operations for Hazard Levels, a co-op survival horror game where the beer is optional, but the interdimensional field trips are not. You play as a recruit of a hidden group sending teams through unstable rifts to collect ingredients. Not artifacts, not weapons, ingredients for experimental brews. Very much in line with the location. Each run starts with scanning and opening a portal, then stepping into a procedurally shifting dimension that gets stranger the deeper you go. And of course, you are never alone. Terrifying creatures lurk everywhere. Study their behavior and learn their weaknesses, preferably before becoming their next snack. Wait, are we sure this isn't just a backroom of a British pub after all? For some reason, you are also unarmed, so it's definitely not the States, I guess. Survival thus depends solely on foot and teamwork. Oh, and your little gadget, the Gravity Gauntlet. This physics tool lets you carry, stack, and throw objects. In theory, it's for hauling loot, but we all know you just end up flinging each other around. After a successful escape, your haul gets turned into perk cocktails, which give you abilities that might be useful, or not so much. The game supports groups of up to 4 players and is already launching into early access at the end of this month. Some of you may have followed the launch of Dragonsword at the end of January this year. Developed by Hound 13 and published by Webzen, it was intended to be a live service MMO-light experience with gacha mechanics and the genre-typical multiplayer elements like guilds and raids. However, after a major publishing dispute during which Webzen reportedly paid only part of the agreed minimum, Hound 13 chose to cut ties with the publisher and shut the game down. But instead of letting it die, Hound 13 announced this week that they would self-publish a reworked premium version on Steam globally as Dragonsword Awakening, dropping gacha, live service elements, and mobile support in favor of a more complete experience. Unfortunately, this also included online requirements, thus cutting multiplayer elements short. They are not completely gone, but will be redesigned to better match the new approach. Since the game is shifting from free-to-play to buy-to-play, the developer has decided not to invest in ongoing server hosting, which is an understandable choice. This means raids, battles, and subjugations can still be played together using peer-to-peer multiplayer, but features like guilds are gone. Story-wise, you play as Lute, who ends up joining a group of mercenaries on a continent that's about to deal with a returning dragon problem. The focus leans heavily on the characters. Your crew grows over time with new members, side stories, and plenty of interactions that tie into the larger plot. With the revamp, all the characters are unlocked without spending extra. And in co-op, everyone can bring their party of 3. During fights, you can switch between them at any time, chaining abilities and status effects into larger combos. A demo is planned for June, with the full release following in July. After more than 8 years, you can finally save your multiplayer sessions in Northgard. Nah, just kidding. Shiro Games probably gave up on implementing this silly feature years ago and shifted their focus onto something new. And this new thing just got a name: Northgard Battlegrounds. This newly announced spin-off takes the familiar Viking setting and turns it into a faster, run-based strategy game. Each run starts small. Place buildings, gather resources, and build your settlements step by step. But every decision feeds directly into combat later on. Instead of controlling units in battle yourself, you just prepare for it. Your town layout defines your army, with economic buildings for growth, military structures that determine your fighters, and special sites to summon mythical creatures. Combine these with godly blessings, and it quickly turns into a system of stacking synergies rather than reacting in real time. Once the fighting begins, your warband acts on its own, leaving you to watch whether your planning holds together or falls apart like a poorly constructed longhouse. Multiplayer takes a different route as well, as the game is built around asynchronous PvP, meaning your clan can face others without both players being online. Your setup gets tested while you are away, and you do the same to others in return. Early access is planned for later this year, with playtests already on the way. We just hope they didn't forget the save feature this time around. Grounded 2 moved along on its early access roadmap, and it added something the park was clearly missing: a giant boss monster. The update introduces King Dozer, a massive horned lizard with heat mechanics. It's not called Beat the Heat for no reason, as you need to not only spank the lizard, but manage the arena's temperature as well. Also, Obsidian made this joke. What a shame they beat us to it. Anyways, buggies also got a major upgrade, turning them from simple mounts into more of a type of battle companion, with progression, abilities, and combat roles. On top of that, new areas, tougher enemy variants, and a handful of long-requested tweaks, like blocking while using a bow. Early access continues on, and the summer update with water buggies and bases is coming. Final Fantasy XIV is closing in on its next big chapter, and patch 7.5 lands on April 28 as the first part of that finale. It continues the main story with new dungeons and a major boss fight, while also bringing back familiar faces and setting up what's next. The standout addition this time is the Beastmaster, a new limited job built around capturing and summoning creatures to fight for you. Outside of that, there's a new PvP map, more endgame activities, and the final part of an Alliance raid series. So, whether you're there for the story or side content, there's a bit of everything packed into this update. Age of Mythology Retold, the modern remake of the RTS classic, is getting a new DLC called Obsidian Mirror, bringing the Aztecs to the game. We will get 3 new gods called Quetzalcoatl. You know what, never mind. New powers, units, and technology, as well as an all-new 12-mission campaign. Although that's unfortunately only playable solo, as far as we know. But if you're interested, but not fully convinced, next week, starting on April 23rd until 27th, the game will be free to play on Steam, so you can check it out to see if you like it. Phasmophobia, the 4-player ghost hunter game, is getting a really cool limited-time collaboration event with Alan Wake. From May 12th to June 2nd, you can earn exclusive in-game rewards, including cosmetics and trophies. The full details of the event are still top secret, but they have already teased that there will be a story chapter where you will work with Alan Wake, where the investigations will feature some new dark twists and turns. The narrative was written by Remedy's creative director Sam Lake. The event is coming to PC, consoles, and VR. Battlefield 6 just released a new roadmap. Season 3 kicks off in May with reworked fan-favorite maps, including one of the largest battlefields in the game so far, alongside the introduction of ranked play and map overhauls to improve flow. Season 4 then brings full naval combat back with large-scale ocean maps. On top of that, highly requested features like a server browser, proximity chat, and custom lobbies are finally making a return. But that's all for this week. We wish you a great time in co-op with your favorite people, and we'll see you again in the next one.